worked.
Gives them a whoosh. No doubt it'll go to the same.
Hands up. So Ricardo Martin here looking to add the second. Another swish of the net. 47 plays 46. We've got under 30 seconds to go here in the first half of our QBL clash. The Gold Coast up against the Clive Berghofer Group Toowoomba Mountaineers. Thanks to our live stream series sponsor, USQ. Our game sponsor.
The races here.
We'll see what Sims can deliver.
Great push there. Good defense from Ranko. Gonna get out and initiated that transition.
And then he makes the big defensive play down the other end. And he's pretty happy about it. He's getting the crowd amped and involved.
I've seen someone dance around like that since the years that boom, boom, shake, shake the room, hit the clubs.
When was that?
Oh, that was back in the heyday, the glory days. But great stuff from Sims. Great to see him come in and be passionate about the team. First game that he's come back from a suspension into the league. But to come in and have that sort of enthusiasm, I know at training he's been there doing everything that the boys have been done, just not being able to play this game. So I'm sure it's an emotional night for him to be able to come back and contribute on the court from a team that he's been working with for so long now.
Look, to see him do that, Steve, you've played for the Mountaineers and you've seen different players come in, whether they were imports or from somewhere else, to see a guy like that come into, to your hometown, on your home team, and show that sort of emotion and show what it means to him, that must be a big thing for an outside player to come in and do that, for someone to sit back and watch that.
Exactly right. Like, for an outside guy to come in, and Toowoomba's a very tight-knit community, as you know. To have guys that come in from the outside, sometimes it's a bit hard for people to take to them, but to see guys that come in and have that passion like that, they'll love that sort of thing, these Toowoomba locals, and they'll get right behind anybody who puts that jersey on, has that passion for the team. They'll be happy to support guys like that.
So we'll see 3.8 seconds on the clock here. We'll see what Toowoomba can come up with here as they look to add another one to the tally. Ricardo Martin gets it down here, so he's going to get up the floor. He does that. That one rims out there, though. Great first half for Toowoomba. They lead 48-47. Steve, it's been a very balanced scoring offensive load for Toowoomba. No player has stood out. It's been a real team performance with a number of guys, a lot of players getting their hands on the ball and making a strong contribution for Toowoomba.
Yeah, it has been a great game. Great first half of basketball. Great to watch both ends. It's been energetic, both teams pushing the ball. Good defense being played as well. It's been a tale of the two R. Martins, so hasn't it? Ricardo and Reese both leading their teams from the front with the points, but getting good support all around from anybody who's hit the court.
And we see there the scoring balance when you look at it here. So what Sims has come in and he's added 6 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. So not a bad stat line for him for the first half. Cameron Webber's been fantastic with 11 points, adding 2 from 3 from the 3-point line there as well. As you mentioned, Ricardo Martin, 14 points. Jason Spurgeon has been outstanding, Steve. 6 points, 7 rebounds, and he's done it against quality opposition again. He's had a great start to this game.
Yeah, you just can't speak highly enough of a kid like Spurge. I only started playing basketball 3 years ago up at Grammar, so he hadn't played an ounce of basketball, never dribbled a ball before. Now he's to see where he is in 3 years, like that's a phenomenal growth period that he's had. And he's an absolute sponge. I spoke to Gibbsy there before about... At the start of the season, he just wanted to be on the roster. He was going to do whatever he could to sit on the bench and be able to go to trainings. And he's done everything that Danny's asked of him. And he's been rewarded. Now he's got the starting spot. And not just starting spot, he's not happy with that too. Now he's going out competing against guys like Petrie. We've seen him competing against who do we have? Mitch Young last week.
The first week with Mackay, the big import.
Yeah, like he's matching up with legit NBL guys in this country. So outstanding career and exciting to watch and exciting to see here week in, week out what he comes out and does.
We've got an exciting second half in front of us. I think it's very much there for the taking. Will it be Toowoomba? Will it be the Gold Coast? Well, come back in the second half and we'll see all of the action. So we might head out to centre court, see all the entertainment there. And then we'll go to an ad break. When we come back, we'll be back for the second half.
Big round of applause for Jared. Mate, you didn't even hit the backboard. What's wrong with you? I thought you were a phys ed teacher. Good try. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, now we go Wilsonton High School. We're going to have a 3-on-3 with the boys. Have you got the moving, Sid? And in the meantime, we're going to draw the Gandep prize. I'll have to get Clive Berghofer to draw the Gandep prize. This is a project, of course, that we're supporting, building an airport and a road in New Guinea. I don't know if you realise this, ladies and gentlemen, but in New Guinea, in the Gandep region, half of boys and girls die before they get to 18 years of age. And there's a group of volunteers here in Toowoomba who are raising, so far they've raised $2.5 million. We've got bulldozers, tractors, all sorts of things taking up there to build an airport and a road. Now, we'll draw the winning out. This is the 50-50 supporting Gandep program. The number, just one, Clive. The number is 19. If you've got 19, come on down. You'll win yourself $50. And the other $50 goes to the Gandep program. 50. Come on down, 19. It's Crystal. Crystal Watson, give a round of applause. Well done, Crystal. That's all yours, babe. Thanks. Okay, here we go now, Wilsonton. We're going to do a 3-on-3, bam, bam. You're the referee. Righto, the green boys have got the ball. The other boys are in defence. Now, this is what we're doing in the schools in the Armstrong Auto Group Positive Choice. We're teaching skills, nose on ball defence, hand in the lane if your man hasn't got the ball, and you, of course, try to steal the ball and turn it over. Now, for the purpose of this game, you must give it and get it back before you go. Okay, let's go. The green boys. Let's get the cheers for the green. Let's go, green. Oh, lovely layup. Play on. All three outside. Give it. Get it back. Let's go. Let's go. There he is. A pass. Now a cut. Drive. Oh, play on. Play on. Green has got the ball. Give it. Get it back. There he is. Play on. There he is. Big shot. 3 points. Rebound. Take it out. Here we go. Now most of these boys are in grade 8. Oh, intercepted. Step it out. All three out. Give it. Get it. Go. Here it is. And we got to get a score this time. Give it. Get it back. Find your man. Beautiful drive, 2 points, keep possession. 2-0 to Colours. Green 0. Good pass inside. Oh, lovely rebound. And 2 points, 4-0.
Surely. There you go. That's outstanding.
Not much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Down here, anything's possible. A first degree, a second career, a way to advance. As the #1 uni for graduate employment in Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland has helped over 100,000 students become more from more places, on their own terms, in their own time, with 24/7 access and over 100 online degrees. Become more from more places with USQ.
Toowoomba Together wants to break the silence by empowering our sporting clubs to join together and embed social change. Do we accept abusing players or officials? Not in our club.
Do we accept verbal, physical or mental abuse towards women, men or our kids? Not in our club.
Do we accept foul language? Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Not in our club.
We're here for beginnings, endings, and the in-betweens. For the hard yards, small yards, and big backyards. For the new starts, false starts, and failed starts. For the early risers, end-of-day finishers, and late-in-life starters. For the career jugglers, high flyers and low riders. For everyone who's ever had a goal, failed a goal, or chased a goal. It's why we're here. Here to help you explore, plan and track your goal to help however and wherever you choose. Here to help you realise your goals so you can own a better tomorrow.
What's your retirement number? The weekly amount you might need to live the life you want to lead. It's different for everyone, and it isn't easy to figure out. Which is why AMP have an online retirement needs calculator, so you can start thinking about your goals and what your retirement number might be. Try it today at AMP.
with the Clive Berghofer Toowoomba Mountaineers in action at the Cave. To call the game, please welcome the semi-pros.
Well, we're back, about to tip off for the second half. Our live stream tonight, presented to you by our live stream series sponsor this season is USQ. And our live stream sponsor of tonight's game, AMP Capital. Clive Berghofer Group Toowoomba Mountaineers 48, Gold Coast Rollers 47. Looking through the stats there, Steve, you've analysed them, crunched them. What did you come up with?
Crunch the numbers and come up with probably what's been a pretty good half of basketball for both teams. Interesting stat that has come about. 17 assists for the Mountaineers on 19 field goals. So that just shows you that they've been moving the ball well. It hasn't been one out sort of thing. It's been coming from generating good half-court offense. On the flip side too, for Gold Coast, is equally as impressive. So 12 assists on 16 field goals. So both teams moving the ball, taking good shots. They're not just going sort of one out, getting on someone's shoulders, hoping that one particular player will carry them. So it's been some great offense. I think it's been one of the best quarters of basketball we've seen in this stadium this season. So hopefully we back it up another one.
Might go one better this time around. We've talked about it a few times, the Mountaineers, in terms of having those lapses. So I'm sure that's something, look, they corrected last game and I hope they can continue it here. As you see, Ranko Psilicic looks to get things underway for Toowoomba. The confident looking three-pointer that rims out. But look, yeah, I'm sure there's these periods that we've talked about before for the Mountaineers that they can't afford to have, and that's going to be something, again, Coach Danny Breen would have drummed into his team at halftime in the sheds.
Has been. We saw it has been a thorn in their side, but then it was their one of the most positive things for their come out of the Logan game is where they really excelled and they were able to stretch a lead there. So hopefully we'll see the latter come out tonight and see them be able to stretch a lead here in the third as Weber
drops a three, starting the third the way he started the first.
That's his spot he loves there. He gets there, feet set, ready to go.
And good recognition there as well. It shows, obviously, the work that they've done on the training. Could have said, well, Daniel Sims hasn't been out on the playing floor. He knew exactly where to find Weber. He knew exactly where he needed to give him the ball, and he served it up to him, and Weber was ready to shoot.
That platter service that you get so good at the Cave when you come to the Cave.
How good was the halftime feed?
Oh, delicious.
Spinach and feta somethings. See, enough said. Just sound effects like that tell you that, as you said, if you want to be a sponsor or you want to be treated, put your branding on. So they come out here to the Mountaineers home games. So what great sponsors.
What an array of sponsors we got too. Great support that we do get from the corporates up here. Much appreciated. Diop couldn't control the rebound there, and they're off and running.
Got away with one there too, didn't they? Toowoomba Diop was the only man under the basket. As Ranko Psilicic dances down the middle, drops a two.
Mick Conlon's not happy here. He's barking orders. Someone's going to get the hook.
And again, we see Daniel Sims is up and he'll have sore arms at the end of this game just from getting the crowd to raise the roof. But they've responded to it. I tell you, it's probably the most vocal I've heard a Toowoomba crowd this season.
Oh, for sure. And they appreciate that. And they've got a bit to cheer about too, so that always helps on the court. Great stuff there from Ranko, getting aggressive to the basket. The C's parted again. Wasn't quite as stylish as what we saw Ricardo Martin do in the first. But they don't draw pictures on the scorecard either, mate. So 2 points is 2 points.
So if we talk pre-game, how would Daniel Sims fit into this side? New player coming in. We both felt after last week they were making giant strides. We know how it works. Someone new comes into the team. Do they fit in straight away? Do they cause some, to break up that cohesion? But I tell you what, the way that Sims has slotted in here shows what we've been hearing about him at training and what he's been able to do. These players know him. He knows the players around him. I think he's made a very selfless and a seamless transition straight into this team.
He has slotted in, and it seems like some of the pressure's lifted off those other guys. Like there's not the pressure to create from Ranko. Guys like Webb can just go to his spot and do what he does best. Malat's doing well, and Yak as well comes in and do what they do. So it's taken a little bit of pressure off those other guys to create, and I think they're all relishing that situation.
So as we see Abraham Yak come into the game here, Gold Coast get their first bucket after half time, and that one drops there for Jared Eustace. Ricardo Martin, foot to the floor.
A tough basket there too. Got his eyes on the rim and set his eyes on the prize and went and got it.
But again, isn't he, he's asking questions of the defence, and at the moment he's got all the answers. So Eustace at top of the key here. He dropped the bucket there before for the Rollers as they go inside here.
That's
so
a nice move by Diop. Put him in the tumble dryer there.
And there's Toowoomba now looking to get into their offensive set. At the moment we see Daniel Sims creates
wheeling and dealing, and then
creates a little bit of room.
Keeping it low there, 2 on the way back down.
Yeah, interesting. Good bucket though.
We see some great celebrations, don't we, our baskets in the NBA? There's some decorated sort of.
Yeah, Coach Danny Breen said we'd see some highlights. And draws the charge there again. Happy to put his body on the line as well. That just comes down to playing good positional defence.
Certainly does. Great fundamentals there. Move the feet and get in front. Take the contact in the middle of that chest. Really a no-brainer from the ref. They've got nothing else they can call there apart from an offensive foul.
Offensively now, to move with the ball. They've started the third quarter very well. Gold Coast a little bit frustrated here. You can see that. Kick ball in the lane. So Toowoomba will retain possession here. So Renko Pasola just getting cuts into. It's one of those unfriendly bounces we talk about out here at USQ. Reece Martin gets into lane, drops it off to Dale. Great defense there as they crash around the ball. Petrie goes up. So Petrie looking for a settler. Just a little bit out of their groove at the moment, the Gold Coast. Would they be fair in saying that?
Yeah, certainly. The Mountaineers have come out very aggressive after the break, very fired up after a great first half and pushing the issue. And this is what we saw them do against Logan, against their more credentialed guys. Put some pressure on them and see how they respond.
57-52, so a 5-point margin here for the Toowoomba Mountaineers. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you're watching us right across the globe, whether it's via the semi-pros or on our Toowoomba Mountaineers Facebook feed, YouTube, or the other channels you can watch this game.
We're live on Fox, yeah? ESPN.
Well, shout out to Ricardo Martin. What did he say? So we're the best coverage something side of the Mississippi.
Yes. And I'm guessing that covers a lot of territory.
So we're great. We talked to Ricardo last week, and you can see that up on our page, on the Mountaineers page. We had a chat to him post-game. So you see Petrie in the lane getting quite physical down there as well. So Yak pulls it down, and you see Toowoomba off and running. Sims puts it on his chest. So a little bit unlucky there. So he looked to feed Martin. You can see that they will relish the opportunity to play together as well. Martin, as you mentioned, you made a good point before, Steve. I think it has lifted a lot of pressure off a few players here. Martin now is happy to know that he can just get out and run, get in the lane, and if he gets his hands up and ready, that Sims 9 times out of 10 is going to hit him where he needs the ball.
Yeah, certainly. So just a little bit overcooked that last pass, but all in all, they need to get out and push that ball and try and get it up the court as quick as possible.
Jared Eustace drops another 2 there for the Gold Coast. 57-55, 5 minutes 20 to play here in the third quarter. Jason Spurgeon at the top, swings the ball across here to Sims as he looks to find Yak, who's sweeping through. Ricardo Martin liked that matchup from the get-go, settled for the jump shot. Rims out. Gold Coast coming back down the other end. They've snapped a bit of that momentum Toowoomba had before, and now they can knock the scores up if they can find a bucket here. Petrie throws one from deep. Falls short.
Buzzer winding down there. Probably not a shot that Petrie's too used to taking in his career.
57-55. Mountaineers with the ascendancy. So Daniel Sims will get us back underway. Sends it across to Abraham Yak. This is a little play they've gone to quite a lot, Steve, as well. Ricardo Martin down, flashing through it, almost falls back at his hands again. But he's keen to utilise that matchup. He's slicing through and looking to get position on that lower block and see what he can come up with. So Christo Wall comes in. I tell you what, every time he steps into the game as well, he always adds a bit of energy. Christo,
well received by the local faithful in the grandstands as well.
He's got some supporters. Just got a bit of floor wiping going on here. As you said, there's been quite a few that have found themselves on the deck. So he's earning his keep here. Anthony Petrie even happy to pitch in and do a bit of work.
Showing his good house husband skills. Now he's retired from the NBL. I'm sure he's...
Did he have a great NBL career for a long period of time? Was very effective for a number of different clubs. The Gold Coast Blaze, the Bullets, Adelaide, to name a few.
Yeah, he did. Very... just one of those blue-collar hard workers. Probably one of the first guys you'd want on your team when you're selecting a team.
And it's a great level of the QBL to see players like that. Like every week we see coming in and out, you see either current NBL players, past NBL players, rising NBL players featuring in the QBL.
Yeah, for sure. And it's gone from strength to strength over like the last sort of 5 to 10 years. The QBL's really gained recognition as one of the elite competitions outside the NBL in this country.
See Ranko Basilic brings us back down the floor, finds Yak. Short. That one falls short there for Ranko. Nice feed inside there. Balo Green working away. Can't get that one to drop. Christo Wall's going to get us up and down the floor here as well. Drops it off to Yak. Gets it back there. Ranko Basilic drives through.
Acrobatic finish, just doesn't quite tumble.
Good job there, though, by Ranko Basilic. He got himself into a position there where so cut through the middle of the key. Found an opening there as well. We'll see Malat Kuch coming into the game now as Daniel Sims takes the seat. A couple of free throws coming up here for Ranko Basilic. Plenty of hands up in the crowd. The one and only Johnny Gilton, he's got him on a string. Just the puppeteer, just trolling the crowd.
Pied Piper, whistling his tune.
They love him here.
Heartbeat of a Mountaineers program.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. Look, we were here earlier. You see he's out here. He's the one that's putting the signs up, or he's putting the chairs out, or he's sticking the signs out, or he's cooking the sausages. It's an amazing job that John Gilson does, and his passion on the sidelines is something that Toowoomba's become famous for. He does his best to will the team across the line, that's for sure. So Ricardo Martin likes this matchup. Probably, if he had his time again, he'd probably want that one back, I'd suggest.
Settles for a tough fadeaway jumper down there. Good defence by Reece Martin too. He's always been a great defender along with everything that he's done in the NBL. That's probably what he was most recognised for, being able to hold his body in position and keep Martin out of his preferred destination at the low block.
59-55, 2 minutes 49 to play here. Eustace inside. Can't get that one to go. So Ranko Pasilla just pushes us up the court, kicks out, looking for the open man, finds Martin.
Oh, great hustle there from Martin.
He's hurt himself in the process there. It's just 2. He hasn't got up yet, actually. So Mountaineers here now playing 4 on 5. Ricardo Martin still down in back play.
Might have taken the wind out of him there as he Supermaned to try and contest that possession.
Just if it shows you again what we've talked about a few times, what we've liked from Ricardo Martin, that team first mentality. He put his body on the line. And you're talking about one possession with 2 minutes 14 to go in the third, but he was happy to put everything on the line to try and retain possession for his team.
Yeah, certainly was, and you love to see that from any player on the court, to have that much value on one possession of the game. And that's what these games can come down to at the end of the day. One possession can change the context of the game, and if it's a one-basket game, that could be the thing that saves them at the end of the day or promotes them to be getting that win.
So we've got 2 minutes 15 to go here, so welcome along to those that are watching the game. I see Jason Ebnetter on board watching here, one of the former Mountaineers. Wonder if he played golf today.
I think he was on chores duty.
I think he's a fan of the Golden State Warriors, isn't he?
Was.
Told him to lay off. Anyway, wonder if he laid off. Jason, if you're watching, give us a thumbs up or a sad face or...
crying face.
Whatever you like. They're in some trouble.
They certainly are.
No, I was only
depleted.
Only speaking to him a few weeks ago, and he's got a nice little multi going for 20-odd cents. And I said, well, you know what you should do? I said, you should go and have 6 cents on the Raptors. I said, you can't get beat, mate. It's a 2-horse race. Anyway, but Jason's been a member of the Mountaineers the last few years. Great to see him watching along here as well. Will Mitchell also on board watching. Nice comment there about his former teammate.
Ranko Pasilla gets in. There's a tee up. The token towel wavers down the end of the bench of the Gold Coast getting a little bit too excited there.
Will Mitchell not out there tonight as well. He's added some great minutes for the Mountaineers, Will Mitchell, in recent weeks. So he's been missed out there. As I said, he's got some choice words there for his former teammate Jason Ebnetter. No, he didn't lay off. Right.
You did have Big Willie Mitchell on the show there a few weeks ago, and he was getting a bit of pressure. No, we had his missus, Kimberly Wilson, on the show.
Yes.
Get a little bit of pressure there for a commitment.
That happens a bit on the semi-pros.
Oh, mate, I don't know. We may as well start a dating show. But, yeah, I don't know whether that commitment's been forthcoming or not. Maybe you can enlighten us a little bit there, Willie.
61-55, a minute 48 to play here. So Ranko Pasilla just drops a 2.
Biggest lead of the game here for the Mountaineers, 7 points.
Crucial part of the game here, Steve, where you'd really want to see Toowoomba take that momentum into the half. Thalo Green pulls down the offensive rebound.
Foul on the ground, but that'll be 2 bonus shots for Thalo. Where he's made a living from the free throw line during his career.
So he'll look to add 2 here to eat into this lead.
A few little bird calls coming from the...
What's that about?
What's that? I don't know.
I thought that was you. So 62-56 in favour of the home team here. So Thalo Green going to the line. So a lot of fouls called this game, Steve. Again, another one here where the last minute or two we're going to see in the bonus 4 pass there from Ranko Pasilla. Didn't need to do that at this stage of the game. 62-58, a minute 27 to play. The Gold Coast really looking to up the tempo here to finish off this period. Poor pass again there as well, but it's going to end all right. That one drops.
Great find from Ranko there on we'll call it a sloppy play. We'll call it what it was. I don't want to sugarcoat it there, but
the end outcome was sweet.
Nonetheless, 2 points.
So Eustace has one, hit both sides. The rental rebound out to the opposite corner. Phalo Green catches in rhythm. That one goes in and out as well. And Toowoomba here with under a minute to play in the third. Great pass inside there. Now Cresto Wall.
Oh, Phalo might have just been very much back on the heels there. That could have been a call that goes either way, I think. But Wall cops the offensive foul.
So that one goes the way of the Gold Coast. 42 seconds to play here now. 64-58. Reece Martin gets us back up the floor. Quick possession here. That one almost drops in. He was looking for the two for another. Some poor decision-making from Toowoomba, the back end here of this third quarter, Steve. Not what I'm sure would be impressing Coach Danny Breen. Not the finish to the quarter he would have wanted here.
No, they need to compose and just get a good last shot here. Make sure that the Rollers don't get another possession.
Johnson goes up. Oh. I think quarter time or three-quarter time has come at exactly the right time for Toowoomba, Steve. They'll go into this huddle here. It's a very important huddle, a very important time of the game. I think Danny Breen will be fairly upset, well, overall happy with the performance of the quarter, but would be very upset with how they finished that quarter.
Yeah, for sure. They end up winning that by 3. Got a bit sloppy there the last couple of minutes, though, when we saw Sims go out of the game.
Yeah.
Rollers
value that the ball, the possession.
They did. They upped the ante a little bit on defense, and they looked a little bit flustered. They just need to compose, take control, because they've been good. They need to get it down into their half-court set, be patient, split the gaps and get it up the court, then get their set up what they want to get, because they have been good when they've done that.
1 quarter to play, 4-point game. Obvious statement, but it's anyone's game. It's there for the taking, for whichever team can execute the best in this final 10 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. So this is the position you want to get yourselves into when you're playing the game. Give yourself an opportunity to get over the top when the whips are cracking. Stick your nose out on the line and get the win, mate. So, and both teams are going to have that opportunity. This Gold Coast have got a lot of big guns they'll probably rely upon to take this by the scruff of the neck and show them the way. And it's going to be up to Toowoomba to stay composed and execute, keep sharing the ball around and doing what's been working for them throughout this whole game.
Okay, so you've touched on a few things there, but what's the key for Toowoomba? What do they need to do well to get over the hump, get their nose in front when we hit the finish line here?
I think the one thing they want to push is transition. Yep. Sims back onto the court now. I think you see Ricardo Martin steps back in too, so they've got the foot speed on there. Push that ball up the court, but defense is going to be critical too. So being able to match up, Petrie's going to be a big part of this. Expect the 2 imports to be a bit more aggressive from the Rollers. If they can push the ball up the court, get a few cheap baskets, and then just stay composed. Even if Gold Coast, they're going to make a run. If they make a run, if they hit the front, it's not time to panic. You need to stay composed and stick with what's been working.
So, and Shu on the other foot, what about the Gold Coast? What do you think they'll be looking to do, or what's the key for them to get this one done?
I think they'll be looking to get their guns back in. I think Petrie will come back in, and Reece Martin will be the 2 guys that they'll set it up through as we see
perfect
Parker
start for them
get through. Parker has been a little bit more quiet tonight than what we've seen over the past few weeks. His averages there, so just the...
But a great move there to get his team on the board to kick off the 4th.
Over the back there.
There's Malat Nakush, looks to find an opening in the lane there, so we'll see the shot clock reset to 14. 64-62. So Toowoomba now in possession. Daniel Sims finds the ball in his hands as we count down a few seconds.
Ball gets a little bit excited.
Shuffles the feet. So the pressure there, good defensive set from the Gold Coast there. They took Toowoomba right out of their rhythm at any stage there. So you can see the Gold Coast, I think it's quite evident. They've turned the screws a bit here. They've gone up a notch. Toowoomba now needs to be able to match that. There's that.
Spencer Parker sneaks in the back door for a little cheapie. Yeah, they certainly have. There's pressure on the passing lanes. They're up there. A little 2-3 zone look here by the looks of it. Or no, it's just a bit more standoffish man-to-man, a bit more help-orientated. Again, Thalo Green.
So the arrow with the Mountaineers.
As we see the young mascot here trying to urge one of the officials into a flop warning.
Didn't work on this particular occasion. Still waving his hands around. Does a great job.
Tristan Selic is just having a little bit of a debate with Chief Crew Umpire Daryl Millard there trying to...
There's a few having a chat to him.
Yes, he's a very...
little committee meeting there.
Yeah, yep.
There's plenty
work out a plan of action moving forward at the end of this game so we can...
Anyway, we're back on.
2 seconds on the shot clock.
That's good.
Ooh, that's tough as we nearly lose lights, camera, action here. Ricardo Martin.
Big shot, Steve. That was right in front of us and it looked good the second it left his hands.
Certainly did. Tough shot. But you see the ability to be able to elevate like he does on his jump shot. Like even under those pressure situations, he gets a good look at that. And they're the shots you love to take too, because if they go, they go. If they don't, nobody points the finger at you.
He's dropped it on this occasion, a big bucket. And look, just the way the game has started in this fourth quarter, I think it's one that his team really needed, Steve. They really needed a bucket. Beautiful one there from Sims to back it up as well.
Making me dizzy watching that sort of stuff.
69-64, so the 5-point margin back in favour of Toowoomba. Petrie, you talked about those big players stepping up. Martin, corner three. Abraham Yak, one-on-one here with Reece Martin. So great to have all those people that are tuned in and watching with us here tonight. 69-66. So Sims. Great offensive play before from Sims. He looks again, breaks down his man, creates a bit of room.
Oh, that's a tough shot.
A tough shot, all right. Equal to the task. A couple of big buckets from Sims here in the fourth. Big three right in front of us here as well from Ricardo Martin.
Yeah, certainly was. You see Sims wheeling and dealing, creating that space on the jump shot, then the ability to finish that as well, finish the task there, run down the court, pumping those horns as well. So he's getting excited.
And doesn't it change the way Toowoomba looks offensively? So they've now got a couple of guys there, a number of guys that if you get down to that last few seconds of the shot clock, that can play isolation ball and can create a shot for themselves, which, look, as we know at any level of basketball, particularly at this level, when you need a bucket, there's a couple of guys here that they can now throw the ball to.
Exactly, and that was probably the piece now looking back that they were lacking. They just didn't have that go-to. Put the ball in somebody's hand and say, go to work, get us a basket, get it done for us. Sims looks like he's going to fit into that and have that ability to create. He shaked and baked there on Spencer Parker. Got that room. Parker didn't know where he went. He got a nice little 1.5 metre space and then just popped it straight in his eye.
71-66, timeout on the floor. So welcome to all of our live stream watchers, whether you're on the Semi-Pros page or on the Mountaineers page or on YouTube. Tuning in and following all of the action here. Big thanks to USQ. They are our live stream series sponsor and our game sponsor here tonight, AMP Capital. 71-66, 7 minutes on the clock. It looked like we could be going right down to the wire here. Both teams right up and in this game. Who can execute the best when it matters the most? We're about to find out. Bang, there's a three. from Spencer Parker. Turned around and said g'day to the folks in the front row as well. He was happy with that one.
Copping a little bit of our
must have been
constructive criticism, I'd say, from up there behind him.
Here goes
there.
Sims. Can't make it 3 buckets in a row, Daniel Sims. Martin now. Great seal, Parker.
Well, Parker's trying to turn up the volume a bit here.
Yeah, great seal down low there. Lost his man. And Reece Martin, he'll make no mistake with that. He'll make sure he finds you ready to shoot. Ricardo Martin now faces up, likes the option of the jump shot. Petrie in front of him. Happy to settle for that jump shot. Martin, little body check on the floor there. 71 all. See if it doesn't take long for this one to go either way. 4-point lead, 5-point lead, back to a tied game. That was a minute ago talking about a 5-point lead, and we're now back to 71 apiece.
Yeah, 2 big buckets from Parker. Reece Martin looking to assert his authority and get into the...
Board falls his way. Martin kicks across to Petrie. Likes the look of that. Leaves it short.
It's a great board there from Sims. Getting that position first, controlling the board, and Parker...
Got himself into position.
Good effort from Parker, though. You can't fault that foul going up to contest that rebound. Might have copped a bit of a knock to the ribs there, or the abdomen section.
But he's bounced back here. As we hear through the cans, our director's room saying Will Mitchell wants a shout out. Is that even worthy? Didn't we give him one before?
Yeah, we didn't get an answer from Willie either, so... Maybe that's where he is. Where is Willie Mitchell tonight? He should be over there on the bench, or is he shopping?
Teaching how to sweep the floor.
71 all, 5:45 to play here. Mountaineers in possession with the ball. Daniel Sims gets the ball down to Malat Marcouche. Probably pushed that pass there as Ricardo Martin was looking to flash to the hoop. Probably a low percentage pass. It didn't come off on this occasion.
Bit scrappy these last couple of minutes on both ends of the court.
Reece Martin gets the on-ball screen there from Thalo Green and then rolls to the bucket. He probably missed an opportunity there, which he doesn't too often, Reece Martin. But that ends up being all right. Petrie drops the long one. 74-71. They've weathered this storm well at the Gold Coast. They were down 5. They're now up 3. They're now back to tied ball game. Daniel Sims drops the long one.
Answers right back at you there.
Great settling bucket there for Toowoomba. Spencer Parker, a little 2-man game there with Petrie.
Another offensive foul there. Good defense from Ricardo Martin.
He puts his body on the line.
He spent plenty of time on the floor tonight, Ricardo.
Yes, he has. But thus far in the game, no more valuable time on the floor than he spent just then, earning his team possession. He gets plenty of appreciation from the crowd as well. Floor wipers have earned their money tonight too.
Should have. Get an extra can of soda, or I remember doing that back when I was a young fella, and a can of Coke or
bag of lollies.
Bag of the chips, yeah.
Dim sim, pie. 74 all, Steve. 4 minutes 44 to play. Crunch time.
For a thrilling finish here at the Cave. It's good to see this colloquial crowd get behind their boys.
Which team do you think at the moment is the most likely?
Look, it's right in the balance. So Gold Coast made that run, tie it back up. Tough basket then from Sims answering there. So it's teetering on the edge. But I think Toowoomba will have enough to get over the line. They'll get this home crowd will get right behind them. Give them the energy that they need. I'm expecting a big 4:44 here from Daniel Sims.
As he brings the ball up the court for Toowoomba. Bischoff dropping that big 3 before.
That could be critical in this game too. That's going to take them to 4 fouls for the quarter, the Gold Coast Rollers. So that'll put them into the bonus every time they commit another foul. So that could be a telling tale as we wind down.
Definitely, I think it will be. So 74 plays 74.
Bit of blood on the jersey of Thalo Green.
So he's had to change strips.
Rocking the dad bod over there now on the sideline.
Pretty lean. Abraham Yak. With the ball, Spurgeon back out now as well. He's looking for the ball on the block, dishes it back. Plenty on that one. Yak. 74-74, 4:17 to play.
Well, Eustace looks like he might have rolled an ankle there.
There's plenty of perspiration, I'd suggest, on the floor. Has always had that many guys, but he's back up now. He's feeling fine. But he left that one short. Rebound falls short there. They'll have another go. Top of the key, pretty flat, but bang, that one drops. Big shot.
Big shot. Shooters, when they get 2 opportunities back to back like that, generally that second one will go as Sims tries for the answer.
Athletic rebound though by Ricardo Martin, earns his team a valuable.
Matt did all the hard work, couldn't get the finish at the rim.
3:29, the visitors with a 3-point lead. Petrie had a look at a 3, gave it up. Parker has a look at a 3, gets closer. Petrie on the inside gets the offensive rebound. I think we'll see Coach Danny Breen wants to talk about this. He's called timeout. 3 minutes 19 to play, Steve. 3-point lead for the Gold Coast. Look, doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not a lot considering the runs that we've seen in this game, but real crucial period here at the moment. You can tell the Gold Coast sense an opportunity. Mountaineers coach Danny Breen can probably sense that opportunity as well. He wants to call a halt, talk things over. Key moments coming up at the game this next minute.
Yeah, definitely. Now's the time you need to stand up, take the game by the scruff of the neck, I'll go with this time, and get out there and win it. So the last couple of possessions, Toowoomba has looked a little bit stagnant.
Yep.
They need to get back, keep bodies moving, get through their sets, get the good looks that they've been, kept them in this game and got them to the position that they're in now. Gold Coast look like they're really going to try and push the issue. Spencer Parker there, he's going to be a big focal point. Reece Martin, obviously Anthony Petrie, need to keep him off the boards there because you don't want to give him any cheap second chance baskets. But it's going to be an absolute cracker last 13. Buckle up, enjoy the ride.
Parker, Martin, Petrie have been huge in this fourth quarter, and they're most certainly going to look to will really and most certainly turn the screws here, aren't they? I mean, these are guys with that experience. These are these guys that have played at a higher level. They're going to try and use every bit of that right now.
Certainly are, and that's why these guys are recruited. They're there to win games. They're not there to run around each week and sort of go in week in, week out and just compete. They're there to win games, and that's what they're in that program for. Is he took a couple of little quick steps there, Lionel Rose.
A couple of the James Harden travelators there, wasn't it? He
did
took a few little hop, a skip and a jump, but it drops. Sims has left that one short.
It's a tough look. Probably not the play you're wanting. Like, he did get a shot at it, but you'd like to see it go through a few sets and maybe come back to Sims as it's winding down. Salicic is a good defender, so he's able to stay in front there and just contest that shot.
That's probably the shot you're saying that you want if you've the 3-2-1 left on the shot clock as opposed to what they set to come up with. So a little bit of a dry spell here for Toowoomba. Can't afford a second opportunity here. So thanks to Jennifer for a comment on Facebook and everyone else that's on board watching us wherever you may be. What do you make of it at home? Who do you think can win this game? 79-74 to 22. on the clock. Look, a lot of basketball to be played, Steve, but I think the Mountaineers need a bucket right now.
Oh, definitely they do. Down 5. They really need to get a good look as
They get one right on cue.
Finishes the tough basket.
76-79. Can they get a stop here now? We're approaching the 2-minute mark of the game. 76 plays 79. Reese Martin. So Reese Martin there. A good move there as well. Gets himself to the stripe, and I think he's got a pretty good record from there tonight as well. He's been very, very good. Well, he's been good everywhere that he's been on the court tonight. But again, when we talk about Steve needing to get those shots at this time, he's a player that's been able to do that. Gets himself to the free throw line and can earn it from the stripe.
Sure has been. So the perfect 5 for 5. That'll be 6 for 6 tonight there for Reese Martin.
80 plays 76.
Second one to go there. Ranko will come back in. I'd say this will be the guys we get to finish out on the court as Karen Webber makes a entrance back into the court as well. Loves this time of the game.
Yeah, we've seen him hit some big shots in his career. Sims probably just pushing the issue at the moment. Look, most certainly he saw the opportunity for a shot. He's hit a couple of big ones here, but that's that one in this period where I suppose you probably want to see it go through the hands at this particular stage of the game.
Yeah, try and make that extra pass if it's on, kick it out. Really, every possession has to count now. They need to make stops. They don't want to trade baskets.
And look, we've got both teams right on the cusp of team fouls as well. So this is where I think you'll see the likes of Reese Martin. He'll try and make a living at the stripe now for the last few minutes.
Yeah, he'll be happy, I'd say, just to dribble it out, come off an on-ball, have control of this game. And if they're going to make him foul, they've got to get it out of his hands. There's no point trying to foul Reese and going down and trading 2 points for 2 points.
As he has the ball at the moment, gets a screen there from Petrie to give himself a little bit of room. Petrie at the top, back to Martin. They're playing a little two-man game here, so to the very experienced players. And now you see Spencer Parker coming to as a shot clock down to 7 and to 6. Parker's going to try and yo-yo. Bucket drops.
Long continuation there from Anthony Redmond, but gives him the benefit of the doubt, counts the basket, and he'll go to 1. So that's a big play in the context of this game.
Huge play, Steve. Huge play in this context of the game, isn't it? And Parker's been good. He's delivered when his team has needed him to. There, wound the clock right down. And he's come up with the maximum output, basically. He's got the and one, and he's made it home. So Daniel Sims now working through the lane, gets himself to the free throw line. 76-84, minute 20 to play. Christo Wall's going to come into the game.
So it'll be interesting what we see from the Mountaineers off this free throw. It's a great opportunity to extend some pressure on the defensive end. Can't get that free throw to roll, but get up in their face, trap in the backcourt, see if you can pick off a pass when they do try and throw it over the top, or break the press and get a couple of cheap baskets, because that's what they'll need to get back in there. 7 points down with 1 minute 20 to go.
We see them extending that pressure. Jared Eustace with the ball. Cameron Webber doing a great job to stay in front of him. So take 6 seconds off the shot clock before they even get into their offensive set. And it suggests with what we've been seeing, it's not going to go much further than where it is at the moment as Parker kicks out and finds under the corner. That's the sort of shot that the Mountaineers were happy to have.
Just a little out of control there.
Ricardo
Martin looks around, wants a foul, but I think just needed to pull that up, give the ball up, push it down the wings. Just tried to push through too many defenders in that instance. I think that's timeout.
So we've got a timeout here, Toowoomba, and to talk things over.
That might be the
84 plays 77. It's just sort of crept up in a short period of time, Steve. We were going backwards and forwards. There's only a very small run from the Gold Coast, but then they've just been able to maintain that. Toowoomba now playing from behind and needing quick baskets. Don't have the ball in possession at the moment either. Straight to the fouls, or are we looking to play a bit of clock here? What's the tactic from here?
I think we're in a 3-possession game. Depending on what happens on this possession, you need to come down. If they can get a score, you maybe play one out and then foul after that with sort of 30 seconds to go. If they don't get a score, they have to foul. They've got to play the foul game. They need to send Gold Coast to the line, probably address who they want to try and get the line. When they get the ball foul, you don't want to foul their good shooters. If possible, put someone they're likely to get a miss. But then they need to get a quick shot. Quick shot, good shot. It's going to need a lot of luck from here on in, but it's certainly no means impossible.
So we'll see what tactic Toowoomba does go with.
They're aggressive on the defence. They've got to try and get a steal off the inbounds, or what have we got? The two bonus shots here, so potentially stretching it to a 9-point lead for the Gold Coast.
With 56 seconds on the clock, both teams in the penalty. So Jared Eustace at the line. He misses the first, so that's probably the best outcome they could have been hoping for. They've just hung tough tonight, the Gold Coast. While Toowoomba went on some runs, they've been able to hang in there. As we talked about all night, Martin, Petrie, Spencer Parker, they've all delivered when they needed to. Ricardo Martin, we needed that one to drop from a Mountaineers point of view.
That's what you expect too from the guys that have got that veteran sort of leadership with Martin, Petrie, got the two imports, Parker, Rose, so guys like Salicic that have played a lot of big games. They know how to do it, they know how to get their team over the line, and that's Reece Martin's led from the front. Parker's been good in creating the baskets, but Reece has really controlled the tempo in this last 5-6 minutes.
So they're going to get away with a good solid win here at the Gold Coast, and it's probably a bit of, well, same old story for Toowoomba, Steve. They're going to come away empty-handed. By no means were they out of the game at any stage whatsoever. They've been right in the game. They've been there at an opportunity to win the game, as we see a little bit of to and fro. Daniel Sims is standing behind a wall, happy to have a yarn to Spencer Parker. Parker's a little bit hot.
Hot and bothered under the collar. You want to watch what he does here. If he gets another one, he'll be going for a early shower. Make sure he gets the hot water anyway.
But he definitely was not happy with... Well, he was unhappy with something anyway, Spencer Parker. But look, he'll have the last laugh because he hit some huge buckets down the stretch here. He had that big and one, dropped a 3 when his team needed it as well. He's played a big part here for his team. So we'll see.
Calling on unsportsmanlike foul on Sims, and they're technical
on Sims as well. So
they've got to, I don't know what they've done. They've got together here and collaborated, and the rule book out.
Some unhappy rollers anyway. So
Mick Conlon really wisely takes Spencer Parker out of the game before it escalates to any...
He's done his job.
Other heights.
So now Coach Danny Breen asking for an explanation.
I think Sims has accumulated an unsportsmanlike followed
And
by
a technical.
And that is the end of his night. Able to...
He gets a cheer from the crowd.
So he's escorted from the stadium by assistant coach Trevor Grieve here.
Okay, so he's out of the game, basically.
Yeah, he's gone.
First of the showers. So the first free throw drops there for the Rollers, courtesy of LJ Rose. Second one bounces out.
Yeah, but it is, as you mentioned, a tale of another what could have been. We said before the could-haves, should-haves, the maybes, they don't count for much in sport, but they just are starting to accumulate for the Mountaineers in this 2019 season. We see there, Rollers happy to run the clock out there and take an 11-point victory back down to the Golden Beaches, the sunny, sandy, wavy oasis of the Gold Coast.
88-77, Stephen. I think it's, from a Mountaineers point of view, probably that end scoreline is not really an indication of the game. At no stage did the team lead by more than 5 or so. It just blew out ever so slightly there at the end. Fair to say that, 88-77, 11-point game.
No doubt that was Gold Coast's biggest margin of the game, was at the completion there. I think they just executed better down the stretch. Toowoomba did very well all game. I thought their offense was awesome, had plenty of assists, plenty of good looks. That last 3 to 4 minutes, it just went away from what was working for them, and that's where Gold Coast were able to take control. That the veterans that they had on the court were able to take control and get the win for them. So we think we're going to pop over to Johnny Goulton for his post-game MVP ceremony.
Pusalik. Okay, we're going to present the MVP for today's game. For the Toowoomba Mountaineers, this is the Toowoomba Sports Club voucher. And we'll get the 3-2-1 in the Burnoth Properties Most Valuable Player Awards. First of all, come on over, boys. 3 points. 3 points. Waiting for the coaches to come to me. And we'll get this there. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next Saturday, we've got the SPL team playing at 4 o'clock at St Mary's. If you can hang around and support them, that'll be great. And of course, on the road to Cairns and Townsville are the Mountaineers. If you want to get on a plane and go up and support them, we would be very happy. Okay, Harry Spencer's over here now. He's going to tell me who the 3-2-1 are. And it's a $50 voucher for the MVP.
Webb, Ricardo, Jason.
Webb.
Ricardo.
Webb got the 3, Ricardo got the 2, and Jason Spurgeon got the 1. So, Cameron Webber, would you come to the microphone, please? Cameron Webber. Here he comes. Give him a big round of applause. Way to go, girls. Well done, Cam. Toowoomba Sports Club voucher. What about that game?
It's always tough. Sorry. We had a new starting 5, couple of guys injured last couple of rounds, and we played hard to start with. And we always talk about keeping teams to 80. They end up with 88 and they end up beating us.
Great effort. Well done.
Thanks, John.
Good luck in Towns and Council. And the cheer goes. Let them go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for supporting the game. And July, we're going to have some big games.
So there we have it. So we heard from Cameron Webber there on the court. Steve, interesting. He said the goal is to keep teams under 80 points. Gold Coast scored 88. They won the game.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like that's the benchmark they've set on the defensive end. That's where they're comfortable being able to get to offensively. They're just shy of that 80 points, so 77 tonight. A good effort. Execution that last 5 minutes told the tale. Gold Coast did it, Toowoomba didn't. Gold Coast get the win.
And for the Gold Coast, that execution down the stretch, those big players, they stood up and they made the big plays. Not only offensively, but defensively, they made the big plays, which gave them that bit of separation, enough separation that they're able to hang on to win the game.
It was the difference, really. We saw Spencer Parker really come to the fore. Turn it around. Toowoomba had that 5-point lead. Spencer Parker raised that in 2 possessions. So hit the 3, hit the 2, got them back, and they just sort of flowed on from there. Finished with 22 points, which is a quiet 22 points really from Spencer, but that's up around his career average. Reece Martin did a great job. Finished with 17, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. I think it was him being able to get to the free throw line, get himself going there, and put Toowoomba away, put him to the sword by there with just increasing his defensive pressure too.
Where did it go wrong for Toowoomba? They were there to win this game. We spoke about a number of times, tie game, up 5, up 2, down 2. They were right there, but at the end of the day, I think at one stage we were at about 74-74. We've ended up 87-77.
I think come down, they went away from what worked for them those first 3.5 quarters to get them to where they were. They just went ahead of their offense. We had, how many assists did we end up with? I think we had, here we go, 22 assists, 17 at the half. So we've only had 5 assists there in that second half. So I suppose that's the telling factor of what happened. We relied on someone like Sims to create their own shot. Ranko had to create a bit more for himself. That could be credit too to Gold Coast defence. They lifted the intensity there, obviously protected those guys working off the ball a lot harder than what they did in the first quarter. Couldn't get those shots coming off the weak side screens, those sort of things. Yeah. And made someone actually, well, come on, if you're going to beat us sort of thing. And they were equal to the task and then being able to defend that.
It's just becoming a familiar story for the Mountaineers. Every game has been a similar scenario, if not an identical scenario. So close yet so far away, to coin a phrase.
Certainly has been. I think it's 1-7 now for the Mountaineers in their season, and it's something they want to be able to turn around now and turn around very quickly if they do have aspirations of clawing onto a final spot there in the end as well. But it's a recurring record. We see it happening time and time again, getting to those positions, then just not being able to convert, not being able to take that final step. Another learning curve, I suppose, but there comes a time where learning curves get old. You need to be able to have those guys come in and execute those sort of things. So Sims' first game, thought it was very good. Down the stretch, probably took a couple of options where he could have made the extra pass, but that goes for everybody too, and it comes with learning as well. I'm sure Danny will go back to the tapes, review what he saw, and hopefully improve that for next game.
You talked about assists, how many the team had in the first half, how many they added to that in the second half. Talked about Reece Martin basically just took control of that game. Toowoomba most certainly, they share the offensive load around, but is that something? Do you think it's a time where someone needs to put their hand up, take control of the game? That doesn't necessarily mean they score all the points, but someone that just controls the game in those key parts, that makes sure that Toowoomba gets those good shots, gets those good opportunities. If you're in foul trouble, gets to the foul line, so forth and so on, which Reece Martin did perfectly tonight for his team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as you say, having control of the game doesn't mean dribbling it up, taking every shot and kicking and scoring every point. So you're able to create for somebody else. And what we saw those drives in, collapse the defense, kick it out for an open shot. Webb's open shots in the early part of this game. Guys getting to the short corner, dishes off for the guys cutting through. Ricardo got a couple of cheap ones through there. But yeah, being able to facilitate, grab it, by the scruff of the neck, know what you got to do, get to the free throw line if you have to, kick it around, get an open shot, or get to the basket. But yeah, we just found wanting there at the final hurdle.
A couple of good positives to come out of the game. There's always positives out of any game, of course, but I do think that there are some great positives moving forward once again for Toowoomba. The evolution of Jason Spurgeon's game. Look, he was really good, I thought, again tonight, particularly in that first half. Maybe that's something where Coach Danny Brennan would have looked at him having that same impact now for an entire game, but that first half he was really, really good.
Yeah, definitely was, and whether that sort of physical toll took its toll on him in having to bump bodies with Petrie and get in there and be physical and keep up to what those guys were able to do for 40 minutes. But again, as you say, that first half that he put up there was super impressive. Not worrying about who he's going up with, what they've done in the past, being able to compete against them and even match them on the offensive end. A couple of really nice moves in the key way against guys like Petrie and Diop inside.
And we've talked a bit about Daniel Sims, but some really, really good signs that we saw from him. You got to remember, he's a guy who hasn't played in, was it a couple of years since he's been out in a competitive game. You can train as much as you like and play 3-on-3 and play other forms of basketball, but playing proper QBL standard basketball after a lengthy layoff, he showed he's only going to get better. So that's one thing you'd have to say is a huge positive there. And on that as well, the speed that he possesses, I tell you what, to be a few teams in the league when you've got him and Martin running that can outrun the Mountaineers, surely.
Yeah, definitely. Speed with ball in hand too, so pushing the basketball up the court, being able to get past that initial line in transition and then find those guys. But yeah, him and Martin, exciting team to watch. That first half of basketball was probably as good as you've seen anywhere.
Yeah. And Ricardo Martin, effort, persistence, all of that, similar to what we talk about with what Anita Brown does for the women Mountaineers, but Ricardo Martin just, well, one play sums him up when he dove full length across the court trying to, save just one possession. That's,
it definitely set the standard too. He said, this is what we're going to be. This is how we need to compete on every possession. And he didn't just, it's one thing to tell everybody we got to do this. We got to chase the balls. We got to dive on the loose balls. But then to see one of your star players go out and do that sort of inspires everybody that gets time on the court to follow suit as well. So inspirational from Ricardo. His aggressiveness was great again at the start. So we've seen some tough finishes in the early part of the first half and second half, but just went away from that when it come crunch time.
But I think it's exciting times moving forward. Coach Danny Brand would be happy, whilst the record wouldn't be what he'd be happy to see. He would have to be happy, generally speaking, of where this team is going. He'd love to see them together for a season or two. I know things change when you move forward, but he'd love to see them together for a season or two and see what they can come up with.
Yeah, certainly, and that's always been the plan. It's a 3-year plan. Danny's committed to coming up here and implementing a program. So it is going to be longevity of the program and the Toowoomba Mountaineers. It's not a sort of a hit-and-run mission, come in, try and buy a championship and go that way. They realise it's going to be something they're going to have to build from the base up, and that's what they're in for. And that's what all the players have sort of bought in for as well too. A lot of youth on the bench there. We don't see them making too much impact with minutes on the court at the moment, but their time will come too. They're working hard off the court, following the systems, buying into the systems, getting their time in the SBL, those sort of programs coming through, and it'll put them in good stead for the following seasons, having guys like that and getting the experience of learning guys like Ricardo, Martin, Sims that have played at that higher level.
Well, hopefully we can see the team get another win very soon for the followers of Toowoomba. Congratulations to the Gold Coast. Well-earned pair of wins that they were able to claim driving up the hill on a cold, foggy night in Toowoomba. But they go home with 2 W's, and that's what it's all about. So congratulations to the Gold Coast. I want to say a big thanks to USQ, our live stream series sponsor. Big thanks to AMP Capital, who were our game day sponsor here tonight. To Zach Ford, all of the team behind us. Make us look good. It's a pretty easy job when you've got the team behind the team.
Brilliant. Zach and the boys, tip of the hat to you boys. Appreciate all your efforts.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. Next game, we're off for a little while. Mountaineers on the road for a while. Next home game, 6th of July versus the Rockhampton Rockets. I'll be absent for that, so you'll
You'll steer the ship, eh?
Yeah, you'll step up and
see who we can
hoist them on your shoulders and carry the team home.
Conjure up
Captain.
to fill those formidable shoes. I don't envy whoever does sit in your seat.
That's you.
Mate, because it's... No, I'll just sit on the wing and we'll get an
After some good ball.
Yeah.
Feed me.
I'll run off the hip, mate, like I do. So you just keep putting me through gaps and I'll keep scoring tries.
It's basketball. It's getting late and people are saying, why are you still on? So that's why we don't have a director saying, and we're getting the old wrap up here. No, thanks so much for joining us. It's been great to bring the game to you. I'm sure you can tell that we love doing it and we hope that you enjoy the commentary as well. Wonderful to see the numbers that we had on there watching tonight. So we'll be back on the 6th of July. But join us next Saturday morning for the semi-pros. Time do we kick off? 7
o'clock, 7 till 8:30. The hottest hour and a half in sport.
Join us then. Thanks for your company. Good night.
Just about done, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding.
That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Down here, anything's possible. A first degree, a second career, a way to advance. As the #1 uni for graduate employment in Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland has helped over 100,000 students become more from more places, on their own terms, in their own time, with 24/7 access and over 100 online degrees. Become more from more places with USQ.
Toowoomba Together wants to break the silence by empowering our sporting clubs to join together and embed social change. Do we accept abusing players or officials? Not in our club.
Do we accept verbal, physical or mental abuse towards women, men or our kids? Not in our club.
Do we accept foul language? Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Not in our club.
We're here for beginnings, endings, and the in-betweens. For the hard yards, small yards, and big backyards. For the new starts, false starts, and failed starts. For the early risers, end-of-day finishers, and late-in-life starters. For the career jugglers, high flyers and low riders. For everyone who's ever had a goal, failed a goal, or chased a goal. It's why we're here. Here to help you explore, plan, and track your goal to help however and wherever you choose. Here to help you realize your goals so you can own a better tomorrow.
What's your retirement number? The weekly amount you might need to live the life you want to lead. It's different for everyone, and it isn't easy to figure out. Which is why AMP have an online retirement needs calculator, so you can start thinking about your goals and what your retirement number might be. Try it today at AMP.